Yay!
Oh, wow.
Welcome back, everyone. What an awesome rolling start we have.
I jumped straight into it.
Yeah, just like every week. We're back. We had a little winter freeze, kind of a little scary moment. But we're here. We're alive. We're thawed out. Right, guys? Burr?
Mostly.
Not. Yeah? Hot or not? You guys remember that app? Did you guys ever use that app?
I was like 9 when that was an app, so no.
Oh God!
No,
Am
I was in
old
high school.
here? Yeah, we're about the same age, right? So like,
Yeah.
I remember when I was going on tours going to wrestle back in high school and a little bit of college. They would be. We would just sit in like the bus heading over there and just ugly. Okay. And like we were like 15, so we're
Yeah.
jerks, right? That's how it is when you're a child.
Do you remember when you got the score for it? Like to see how hot you were?
Oh, dude, I was so disappointed.
Yeah, I never put myself on there.
Yeah.
So I would only ever remember like on a long bus trip, right? Because it's like we have 8 hours to go, and like there's nothing to do right now, and so we're just on there like ugly. And as soon as anybody hot comes, we just freak out because we're 15-year-old boys like, oh my gosh, an attractive girl. Ah!
That's how it is when dudes hear like a girl get on video games, like you're playing Call of Duty, and the girl's like, I just died. Everyone's like, I can save you. Oh, here's a revive right here.
Take it.
Do you have a ray gun? Take my ray gun right now. It's like, geez, dude, let her God.
I've been a tier 3 sub for 8 months.
Yeah, hot or not, man. Wow, we sound
Anyway.
like bros right now talking about a dating app.
Yeah.
Dude, she is hot, man.
Anyway.
Dig.
I want to preface that I was a child when I was doing this. This is acceptable behavior for a 14-year-old.
Yikes.
Anyway.
Was it?
It was a dating app at the time. We're childish.
I remember it.
We should. Okay, this might be the worst start to a podcast that we've done.
We try to, whatever the opposite of one-upping ourselves is, one-downing ourselves. We're one-downing ourselves every week.
Every week.
I think we coupled down.
We haven't even done intros yet. Yeah, we just opened with a hot or not.
I'm sorry,
Cold open with a
guys.
hot or not.
Anyways, we're back with another episode. Thank you for waiting. We're here. No need to fret or fright. I keep stalling. Anyways, we have a very special guest today. But first, it is I. Yeah. It's I, your boy, resident star boy, Danny Orion, a.k.a. Primo. You know, we're here. We got Jay Mazing.
In the building.
He's in the building. It was freezing outside. You know, we left him out. Felt bad for him. He gave us the puppy eyes.
Like,
there was
literally
snow.
left me out in the freezing cold snow.
Yeah, there was snow
It builds
hanging off his
character.
nostrils.
That's what they tell
It
me.
makes you stronger.
Yeah. Your beard, I think, flourished from it. You got a lot of moisture from it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah.
You ever see Vikings and their beards? It's because of all the cold.
Yeah.
Is that what it
yeah,
is?
the ice
Each winter,
constant
it builds
frost,
them up
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
So a few more of those, man, you'll be ready to go.
Each
Yeah,
nostril
dude,
hair
just-
has a story.
It's like every year, just wait for the blizzard, I guess.
Yeah. But this time we let him in. You know, we felt bad. But
Aw.
next time, you're not so lucky. Anyways, we got the other man.
Yeah, hello, it's Mr. Third Man. I'm Freezer Burn, Felix Rogers here. Because let me tell you, man.
Filet fish and then freezer burn, which kind of goes hand in hand.
Look, you got Freezer Burn on your filet fish. That's your own problem. It's not mine. But
Yikes.
it was a rough week. My apartment still doesn't have water. It's been like 10 days.
Ugh,
It's
feel
fine,
you, man.
They brought like porta potties and portable showers and stuff like that, so we got something at least.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's something.
you know, it was about this time last week. I was in a bed with my 2 other roommates because it was too cold in our. It was
Hey,
like
now.
38 degrees in our apartment. No else for me to do, and I'm sitting there, and it's like 2 a.m, and I'm like, man, how did I get here?
I feel that. I was eating stale potato chips from a Dollar Tree.
Yeah,
this
bro.
time last
My
week.
diet was potato chips, saltine crackers, and cream and like tomato soup.
I ate
for, like, 3
so
days.
much chili. Just like
We had chili,
cans of chili in the back of the pantry.
We're over here talking about our nasty eating habits over the last week. We should be introducing our wonderful guest.
Look, we had to
Yes.
do to survive. Yeah, our wonderful special guests.
Yes, the Eagle.
It is me.
The American Eagle.
It is me, the American Eagle.
Not the clothing brand.
Can we get a new? Take this, Caca! And then put that in somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
We're gonna
sorry.
kick off future people in.
Yeah. Sorry, American Eagle. This
Just
is
establish that I will always be on this podcast in spirit.
Yes.
as
the
American
Eagle.
Eagle. I just did a salute, but no one can see.
Wait,
Wow.
hold on. Right hand.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We had a conversation about this on Monday. He had to salute with your hand.
Wait, with your.
You have to salute with your right
He
hand.
wanted
Oh,
me to,
yeah,
he
yeah.
wanted me to shoot him a fan thing in the next match, give him a left-handed salute, and I got really mad about it because I'm a big old nerd when it comes to that, and I hate it. I hate left-handed salutes
As an
'cause they're
American
wrong.
Eagle, do you know you have the right to be mad?
I appreciate that, but I actually had a fun story that I wanted to. We got cut off for a second, but you're at porta potties, and it reminded me.
Oh no.
Of a hilarious story. So for those of you guys who don't know me that well, which I imagine is everybody who's not actively on this podcast right now.
Yeah, you're just a
random guy to most people.
Just an eagle.
Just some mysterious eagle. I'm a vet. I spent some time in the Army. My story, I remember I was at Fort Benning for a training exercise in June or July, summertime of a couple years ago. And that, it's crap, it's stupid always. Training exercises in the Army are a nightmare. And the story about this porta potty, right, is we had this one notorious porta potty where
notorious porta potty.
It was notorious. You knew it was by itself, and it was away from all the training stuff. So you know it was where people went to go handle their intimate business with each other.
Oh God.
Because we're sleeping in tents, right? And they're one person tents. And so, like, we will know if you are in a one-person tent with two people because it gets all kinds of uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
And so people just went where there was space because it's the reality is right. There are adults in the Army, but there's a lot of 18-year-olds, right? And you guys remember being 18? It was a nightmare. It was a horrid nightmare.
Yep, it's a nightmare being 24. I don't know what you're.
That's fair. That's fair. But the notorious porta potty, right? I remember and so we're out doing some training exercise at the edge of the field, and I'm over there talking with some people, and I'm like feeling it. Like I ate some crappy Army food, right? Some MRE garbage.
Oh,
and it's
God bless your soul.
Yeah, I don't miss those. I do not miss MREs, that's for sure. But I ate something a couple hours ago. I can feel my stomach grumbling, but I know the only porta potty nearby is the porta potty. And there's no way anybody's gonna be in there because we're the whole company's over here for this training thing. There are 300 people running around doing this training exercise. There's no way that anybody's gonna be in that porta potty handling their business right now. Nobody's got the balls. And so I'm like, but is it worth the risk? But I really need to go. But I don't want to stumble in on anything gross. I don't want to see that in my life.
Yeah.
It's 98 degrees and humid, right? It's not Austin hot, but it's still hot.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to see it. Yeah. I don't want to smell it. So I'm like, God,
it's not pretty in any photo.
It is. Yeah, all of your senses are overwhelmed with fear. And so
everything's heightened.
I'm just petrified. I'm I'm gonna die. I'm going to need to buy new pants soon if I don't take care of this business.
Smell flatulence is no joke.
And so I'm like, all right, I gotta roll the dice. And as I bet you can imagine, the end of the story is me not being good at dice rolls, right?
Yeah. Right.
So I swing the door open, and just in my face, just two people in the midst of adult time with each other, and just, and they are just. They recognize me, but they don't stop right away because they're two in the middle of it to instantly be like,
wow. So they were
well, you get you kind of get in the zone.
They're three more pumps in, and then they're like, and I'm like, oh God, no. So I just close the door, and I put my hands, just my head in my hands, because I'm at this point I was a private. This was very early into my Army career. I had just finished basic training and job training. So this is my first ever time being really in the Army.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how to handle that. I was not
man cheeks in your face.
I don't know.
Oh, it was something, man. It was something horrifying.
Now the bigger question is, did you wait?
I took a lap and I was like, I'm gonna give them 15 minutes to handle whatever they need to handle right now and be out of there.
That's a long time for most people.
Listen, I have had some horror stories with dude. Listen. If any of you guys listening are veterans, nothing respect from one to another, but some people in the military are gross, bro. That's life, right? There's gross people no matter where you go, but I have some experiences that people tell me I'm better for.
Yeah. God. Well, we're gonna have to get you back on to tell some of those. But yeah, man, we got you here in the flesh. You debuted last show that we had. What is today actually?
Today's the 20th.
Today's the 24th.
We're recording it on the 20. What's today?
Today's the 24th.
Today's the 24th.
Yeah. So what? 2 weeks ago, you had your first debut.
Yeah. The show right before the storm.
Right before
happened.
the storm.
Yeah.
The great winter freeze.
Yeah, it was a 6-man tag match. It was me, Ollie Summers, Belter Reyes versus Old School Domination. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
match.
yeah, what a good showing. First of all, you got the hell beat out of you. You got chopped up.
Whew, boy, yeah, I didn't get chopped up.
Yeah. You came to the back, looked at your chest, and it matched the red on your face mask. It was pretty grotesque.
Yeah, no, I
It's a
definitely
good thing you were
took a
just red and
beating in
white,
that
not
match.
blue. Also.
Yeah, you look like ground beef whenever they like first packaged it. That's how your chest looked. It was so bad.
Yeah,
to go
Pretty
on the
spot
go
on.
on the grill.
Old School Domination definitely earns that name. I think they really brought in that old school wrestling work into that match.
Yeah. But because of you, you kind of brought about their demise.
Yeah, how does it feel killing one of AAPW's only stables?
I'm not gonna lie, from a perspective of a positive American, I'm happy to see heel stables break up.
That's fair.
nice.
I'm. In all seriousness, AAPW's had a lot of heel stables.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of great heel stables, but if I can do my part to make them a little less dominant in AAPW, I can't complain about it too much.
Old school domination. How about less domination? Punks.
Hey.
No soundboard? That's messed up. All right.
Yeah.
You won't get
You
soundboards
got
things
an
that are funny.
A from him, at least, like directly from him.
Yeah, that
Coming
was,
from Jay.
That was real, man.
Yeah. I got to spend some time with you when we let you inside the house, so it kind of means a little bit.
Came from the heart.
Thanks.
Heart.
Anyways, back to the Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, what brought you to AAPW, man?
So when I first joined the school, it was not too long after I'd gotten out of the army, and I knew I was interested in pro wrestling. I wasn't sure if I was willing to make that dive yet because all I had really seen was the big stuff. I hadn't learned too much about the indies yet, and
I
other
want you to talk about that as well because I like how you know wrestling.
yeah, and the other promotion. Right, I hadn't learned too much about anything other than WWE because that was all that was really on the air. That and like TNA for the 3 weeks. TNA was a promotion.
Oh, wow. Cutthroat.
around.
Somebody owns them, I think. I've heard. It's not what's her name. Now,
Smashing Pumpkins.
somebody somewhere.
I think. No, not him anymore. He does NWA. Anyway, keep going.
But I had knew I was always interested, but I wasn't sure if I was going to take that plunge yet. I came to the school, met Pops, met Steve-O, met some of the other guys in the school, Lawrence, and had some conversations with them about what exactly it meant to become a professional wrestler, what that commitment looked like, and how people live their lives right on this indie circuit. Because it's not obviously not everybody who starts out in pro wrestling starts out away from home for 200 days out of the year, right?
Yeah.
They're not living that really intensive schedule, that really intense lifestyle that I wasn't sure if I was ready for yet, right? And who knows if I'm ready for that ever, right? But I had some honest conversations with some guys who have been in this business for a long time. Papa Don, Steve Areno. I talked to T-Ray a little bit when I first got here.
Nice. Yeah, he also served.
Yeah, I know. We had that conversation about what it's like to be a vet in this industry and how that can look for you, those were helpful conversations, some real conversations to get to see that environment. But I just was interested. I really wanted to take that plunge and to experience it. So I talked to Pops. We figured out a start date for me, and I came down to the school.
Yeah. Yeah. What pushed you over the edge though to make the decision? Be like, yeah, I do want to wrestle.
I think that I watched some stuff online. I had some heartfelt conversations about why guys were so passionate about this, because not everybody that does this business makes money. They're not always in the green, right? A lot of people are doing this purely because they love it. Yeah. And I talk to guys that are like that aren't here making a living, that have to work during the day and come here at night and train, and they eat, sleep, and breathe wrestling, but it's not their source of income. And I talked to those guys, and they really inspired me that, hey, this is something that's worth my time. Yeah. I think that as a vet, I had a lot of options for what I wanted to do after I got out. And I still do have those options. They're not closed to me. But I was inspired by people like Steve Areno, like Lawrence, like Papa Don, who really have put their hearts into this business. And I saw something in them that I wanted. So I came here to pursue that.
Nice, dude. It's really, you just made that very heartfelt in the 14 minutes that we just had. Yeah. It's going to be hard to hate you, man.
It's a great 188 from the porta potty story.
Yeah. Yeah. What the God? Yeah, what kind of dynamic do you got going on here, man?
Listen, if there's one thing I am, it's honest, okay?
There you go. Look, honesty is a true American policy. Now, you're actually coming in, because a lot of us, when we first come in, we kind of just come in as wrestling fans, but you came in kind of not really as a pro wrestler, but as a wrestler. You have a background.
Yeah,
in that, right?
absolutely. So for about 12 years I wrestled collegiately, or not collegiately. I wrestled amateur style, right? The stuff you see at your high schools and in colleges. I wrestled up through my freshman year of college. I actually injured my shoulder, which is why I ended up joining the Army. And one thing led to another, and it's why I'm here now, right? But I started wrestling in elementary school as like a 6-year-old, and I imagine those were all terrible. There's no videos of those, but I imagine I wasn't good. And I trained for a long time. I really invested into that. I would say that it's 100% a fact that I know more about amateur wrestling than I do about professional wrestling. But
that's understandable.
Yeah, I've been doing professional wrestling for about a year, and I have 12 years of amateur wrestling under my belt. So I think I have. It's a little bit of leeway to be more knowledgeable about that, I think.
Right. But, I mean, you get a little bit of crossover into that, too. Like, you can apply a lot what you've learned in amateur into your professional game, right?
I think, I really, I think my amateur background translates into my style in a really noticeable way. I'm a really big fan of being tight in the middle of the ring, being tied up with my opponent, being in that lockup, and really dominating the control of that match, the control of that pace early on. I think there's a lot of guys in the locker room who have me beat 8 ways to Sunday on a lot of things, but I think I would say that I am one of the best amateur style wrestlers in the locker room right now.
I think that's hard to refute. I've been able to mix it up with you a few times in the ring, and my
Shoot-skis.
God, it is not good for me.
Yeah, and I mean, there's good because there's that that precedent of the transition you can make a successful transition from amateur to professional because I mean, there are guys obviously Kurt Angle, Chad Gable, there are guys like that who have made that transition, successfully. So I'm sure, as you kind of work on it and learn more of the professional style, and stuff. I mean, it's like straight up from there at that point, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think I'm definitely trying to pick up the differences. There are a lot of differences between amateur wrestling and professional wrestling, and really learning what to keep with me and what to kind of abandon is an important part of that transition that I'm making. Learning what skills are actually helpful, and there are some things that I have from amateur wrestling that are not beneficial. Things that actually leave me vulnerable to other moves, right? Like, there's no ropes in amateur wrestling. Like, I'm not going to be able to do a drop kick to somebody. And so part of my brain is I don't think to look out for drop kick all the time. Yeah. And so I was wrestling with Danny on Monday, and oh my God, he almost took my head off. He was behind me, and then I got drop kicked in the face, and I just didn't even. We were exhausted. It was a long match. It was a great match. It was a great time. Yeah, I got lots of good training time in with Danny.
Yeah. We like to call that around the sun until we burn up, baby. Yeah, burnt up. Nice and crispy.
Oh, man, he names his own moves.
Yo, T-Ray has like a million names for his moves. So
you gotta have, when you eventually make it to a video game,
Bathroom does.
You don't want to come in and let everybody go through your moveset, and it's just like, this guy has DDT 4 and Neckbreaker 7. It's like Path to Destruction and whatever LSU, whatever kind of.
Just real quick, I want to point out that he slid in the bathroom comment about T-Ray earlier.
We have a picture of T-Ray.
Yeah, just to clarify for everyone listening, in the bathroom at AAPW,
it's a great picture.
T-Ray continue every single show. T-Ray either himself or has somebody plant a picture of himself in the bathroom before the show starts. We take it down after every show, and it's always back up, and I swear it's T-Ray. I know in my heart of hearts, T-Ray is the one. He is sneaking into these shows, and he is putting his picture up above the bathroom every single show.
It's a glorious picture.
It was there. It was there when I used the bathroom. Really.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think it was. I remember. It's been there so much that I just assume it's there now. Yeah. Because your options when you look at there, because there's the little small 4x6 of T-Ray. And then there's also a big poster of Surfer Sting, with his American outfit on, and
fitting for this episode.
Yeah, but the problem is that they're both right in front of the toilet. So if you're doing your business, they're both of them are just staring straight at you in the face.
You have to make eye contact with the man at least
Sting is
once.
just kind of looking up.
Sting's not looking directly at you, but T-Ray's
staring into your soul.
You're not pissing that. God! I mean, sorry.
Family show. We're sorry, fans.
At the for me.
Yeah. The caca is the official bleep of AAPW.
It is now.
Everyone at home, I can't tell you how many times I have to say family show when we're practicing, just because people forget. And it's a family show. Bring your kids. We love kids here. We're very family friendly at AAPW.
No porta potties here, baby.
There are no porta potty situations allowed at AAPW.
Real Americans don't drop F-bombs.
But we gotta police these guys so that they know not to be dropping F-bombs on.
I need training.
Apparently, I'm gonna start yelling "family show"
I need
at
to go
Danny.
outside with you, Jay. Amazing. I need to
Yeah,
go
we need to
outside
start
with
locking you outside.
Yeah, jeez.
I don't know why I get the treatment.
But yeah, no, I want to touch back on us being able to square up on Monday. I've been able to do a bunch of matches with the Eagle Meister, as I like to call him.
Oof.
The Eagle Meister.
He does in fact call me that. It is terrifying.
You two definitely get anytime I show up, because I feel like every time I show up, it's always you two that are like
trying something.
I know. Well, I have to because I see you guys go during practice. We've been doing integrator practices recently, so I actually, as a beginner, I actually get to work with you guys and seeing how you guys are definitely always the ones getting the most reps of whatever we're doing and then I see that and it's like, oh, I want to do that many too, and then.
It comes.
And then I'm on. You guys are on rep 4 or 5, and I'm on rep 3. Just blown out of my mind. But it is cool seeing you guys. You guys are always they're like, okay, we need 2 or we need people to come in. And it's always there's always a race to get in the ring, thankfully.
Yeah.
But it's always you two.
I'm always scrambling to get in.
There's a race for the first 3 or 4 reps, then everyone starts getting kind of tired. And they're like, I don't know if I'll wait a little while.
I lose my spot because I want to get in too. So I get up, but I wipe my feet and stuff like that. And I look over and there's 6 people. There's 6 people in the ring already. I'm just
what I started doing is because it's considered respectful for the fans at home who don't know. It's considered respectful to wipe your feet before you get into a wrestling ring. Respect for the people who have bled on that ring before, right?
The equal fact of the day.
We want to honor those people who have given their heart and their souls to this industry, and so we wipe our feet. Not everybody always does that, and we try to get on them about it, remind them because it's not cool. And our boy, the Incredible Toaster over here.
Incredible Toaster.
Incredible Toaster.
All right, well, that's my nickname next week, I guess.
The Incredible Air Fryer. Ooh. The Fry Master.
I love my air fryer. Anyway.
But he's always great about it. What I started doing is I dive in the ring, keep my feet up, and then I wipe my feet after I've already secured my spot.
You kind of seal your way in.
Yeah, I dive into the ring like it's my actual entrance, and then I just wipe my feet before I get in, so that no one wants to challenge me.
It's a stretch.
It's true. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out. And I appreciate it that you noticed that because I do like getting reps in. But yeah, it is always either you or I. And Arrow gets in. Arrow gets in a lot too.
Which thank God Arrow's back, man, because we have felt his absence. Yeah.
Shout out to Arrow.
He actually, when I first joined, he did a lot of help training me, getting me familiar, because he has a little bit of a wrestling background as well.
Yeah.
It's not as extensive, not negatively, but it's not as extensive as mine, but he helped me out a lot learning those nuances in the differences between amateur and professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So there's a place in my heart for him when he took that time away for a little bit. Now that he's back, I'm very excited.
Yeah, man. And just to touch on Arrow a little bit, that dude is a freak. Whenever I first came here, in a good way.
I was like, where are you going?
He's a workhorse, 100%. I see what you're saying.
Whenever I first came in, I was expecting, because I do a lot of cardio training. I run a lot after, whatever. I'm not going to stroke my own ego here about what I do for workouts, but I run a lot. And so when I came here and you guys were running outside a lot, I was like, I'm about to smoke all these dudes. And Arrow, that man, I don't think there's been a single time where I've beaten him in our little outside runs where we do our little 7 or 5 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude is a workhorse. And then he'll get inside, and then he'll be the first one to jump on the ring to start the rolls. He'll be the first one to get in, to get reps in, and he'll go just as much as us or sometimes even more. Yeah, shout out to Arrow. And he had a debut at a Heavy Metal last week against Prince Adam.
That was
Prince Adam. I heard great things about that match.
I saw a clip from it, and he just died on a brainbuster.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was cool. That's his first non-AAPW appearance, right?
It is.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Shout out to Arrow. I'm very happy for him.
Nice. And there's a lot of hardworking lads and lasses out here. It's fun.
Yeah, I wanted to touch. Yeah. Jeez, we're all over the place, but in a good way. Yeah, no, I was gonna say that, I guess that does make sense because I feel like I have good chemistry with you in the ring. The first thing I ever got to do with you, I think, was a practice tag match.
Yeah, we had a little tag match going on between. It was me and Leroy Brown versus him and Eli Schwartz. Yeah, and that was an interesting match. I think. Obviously, Eli Schwartz and Leroy Brown being the more senior guys, right there, they were kind of setting the pace as far as the professional wrestling went. I think, obviously, whenever I get in the ring, there's going to be a little bit of amateur wrestling involved.
Yeah.
And generally people know that, hey, just don't let him touch you.
I got touched.
Oh no.
Family show. But I think that was a very interesting match because it was I think it set the groundwork for I think we have very conflicting styles, me and Danny, right? Because he's much more of a high flying type of wrestler. Obviously, we both train catch, right? That's the style they teach at the school. But I think like everybody has different natural affinities towards certain styles.
Yeah.
And I have obviously that affinity towards that catchers and amateur style of wrestling, right? But Danny's a lot more. His athletic skills lend towards high flying stuff a lot better.
I like fast paced stuff. Like to be on the move always.
You can't be Starboy, be on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he moves like I don't really have an effective drop kick in my arsenal. He has several effective different drop kicks that he can do. Like he can hit a drop kick from a lot of different positions, right? Like off the ropes, all sorts of places.
I'll always put over Danny's spinning heel kick.
Thank you.
It is a very intense move. I have
Thank you.
Yeah, I have taken that, and it is. Word of the wise, it is not fun to take that to the face. So don't take it to the face. But I think that his style looks. I think with mine, it creates a very.
Really well.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, right? Because it's very clear what's happening, right? There's a grappler versus a high flying wrestler, and it's fun to watch that struggle of like the high flyer trying to avoid being grappled, and the grappler trying to avoid this man getting off of his feet and getting up in the air. Yeah. Because if he gets up to the air before I can grab him, I'm going to lose. And so watching those matches and watching that dynamic play out is very engaging.
Yeah. That clash of styles is just like a very like
symbiotic thing.
Yeah. It's a very natural story in and of itself.
Yeah.
It's just for you guys being two different kinds of athletes.
Yeah, man. Like I can't even count how many times we've gone in there and just tried to like do something. But then like the amount of we've had a few practice matches with each other. Well, I mean, I guess not really official, but like we've gone through like, let's do something quick for like a quick 3 minutes or 5 minutes.
I think honestly, probably once a day, like once a time where we're here together, we'll at least one of us will be like, "Hey, can we do something real fast?"
Yeah.
It doesn't always work out, right? Like sometimes he has to leave or I have to leave. We don't have the time. Like we can only really stay for the allotted time of class. We have somewhere else to be, but we can. We're always hungry to get in that ring and to practice 100%. More and to refine our move sets and refine what we've got going on. And I think that translates very, very apparently into where we've started versus where we're at now. And I think and absolutely for the both of us, I think personally, and don't let his head get too big, guys. Make sure you bully him a little bit. But I think that he started out way ahead of me from when we joined together. I think obviously I have a different kind of background, so certain things were easier for me. But I think as a wrestler, I think Danny was ahead of me, which is why I think he had his first match before I did. Right? It was because because other people thought that too, and
he only beat you by what, a show and a half?
It was one show, but it's still, I think that he earned that, right? I think I started training before he did, but he debuted before me, and I think it's because of you see it in practice, right? You see who really wants to be better than they are right now, who's chasing. A thing that our trainers always say, right, is try to be better than them. That you want to be better than the guys training you. Yeah. That should be your goal. And I think that a lot of guys don't have that kind of vision, where they don't really realize what it takes to get better than those guys. So they're training too, right? They're not just sitting around and staying the same. And so I think it shows in guys like Danny and some other guys like Ollie and Alberto who really put in that work, and they're chasing those goals. Yeah. And I think you can see it, and it's clear on the shows, and it's clear to us who are training in the building who really wants to be the best guy in the room.
And I agree. Like coming from,
I appreciate that, man.
Like being
I'm usually the one that gets heartfelt. Sorry, Fry Master.
Did you call me a Thigh Master?
Fry Master.
Oh, Fry Master.
Hey now.
Hey. I don't know. Okay, let me get more of these. Let me get more of these scoops in. Shoot. Okay.
No, go ahead.
But no, like coming from, because it is something that's very like visually noticeable. Like. Because obviously, like, I kind of hung around for, a few weeks or so before I actually started training, just doing production stuff and things like that. And even from then and then even transitioning into now a beginner, like, you can see very clearly the guys that are putting in all the work, the guys that have, even in the couple months that I've been here, considerably improved from when, from when I showed up, that, they're now doing matches and stuff like that. So... And as a beginner, as somebody who's almost 2 months into this now,
nice.
You kind of like to me, and I think to the other beginners too. you know, it's kind of a weird game of catch up because we see how good you guys are and how good you guys are getting from all the work that you're putting in. And it's like, okay, you know, we want to get to that point too. We want to, you know, it sucks. Let me tell you, it's in my opinion, it sucks being so bad at wrestling. Obviously, because there's so much I don't know, and I have some very, very little minuscule microscopic experience, but like you just like there. You know, I'm just speaking for myself, of course, but you know, I just want to get better so I can do those practice matches with you guys and get in the ring and go full speed. You know, I don't want to. You know, when I walk in between the ropes, I want to go with intermediates and the seniors because it's like. It's like, dang, like I want to do what you guys are doing. Yeah. It's fun.
The Eagle can tell you, man, as long as you stay hungry, you can 100% get there because that's all it is. I'm pretty sure you probably felt the same way when you came in.
Absolutely. So a fun story about my beginnings as a professional wrestler, right, is in amateur wrestling, bumps aren't a thing, right? You just don't let people put you on the ground, and if they put you on the ground, it's despite you trying your best not to. But in pro wrestling, you're going to get hit with a clothesline at some point. You're going to get knocked on the ground. You can't avoid it, so you have to learn how to do it safely, right?
Yeah. Right.
I couldn't bump to save my life for about 6 months. I was just like, it was too slow or it was too fast. Right? The timing wasn't there. Something was wrong with it. And they're okay now. They're not great. I wouldn't say that I have great bumps, but after practice, would take probably 100 bumps after every practice. Because it sucked. I would go home in so much pain, and I live a little bit away from here, so it's like an hour drive. And it's just me, just
squirming in your driver's seat.
Oh my back! I feel like I'm dead. Like
just dying.
Yeah, I'm just in pain, just trying to like stay focused on the road because it's like 11 o'clock at night and there's no sun. I can't see anything. I'm trying not to die, hit a deer or something.
Oh God!
And so I'm dying all the time. But it's really because I had a coach tell me this once when I was a younger wrestler. He said, perfect practice makes perfection. And I think that if we want to have consistently perfect or at least high quality performances in the ring, we need to practice at that level of perfection, right? Because a lot of times we get tired, especially in pro wrestling, in a way that if you don't have a background of MMA or like a wrestling or something like that, you don't know what it is to be tired in a wrestling match because it's a very different kind of tired. Like before I played football a little bit in high school. It wasn't my primary sport, but football tired is not wrestling tired.
Nowhere near.
There is no other sport that's not mixed martial arts related where you know what it's like to be wrestling tired.
Right.
And you will get sloppy because you're not used to being that kind of tired. Your body just doesn't work the way you think it does. Yeah. And so you have to really drill those moves in when you're tired. And so you need to do those 80th rep, that 90th rep, that 100th rep tired and do it right. And that's not to dog on you or make you feel like you got to work harder than you're working.
Right.
But I just think that's really what it takes to. And what do I know about pro wrestling, right? I'm less than nobody in this industry. But to be good at a sport, any combat sport, especially one as varied as professional wrestling, you really have to put in those reps.
Yeah. Dude, well, unfortunately, we are running out of time, so we got to cut this a little bit short. First, I just want to say, I watched you come in whenever you first came. I just doubled whatever. I suck at talking.
English.
I watched you when you came in, and I can say 100% for a fact, you have made a crap ton of improvements, and I love wrestling with you, and I hope you get to do it inside of the ring one day.
I appreciate that, Danny.
Yeah. So real quick, we can't miss out on it. The patented 3 count.
Ooh, the other 3 count.
Yes, sir. All right. It's supposed to be like, what did we say? 3 minutes? Is that what it is?
It's supposed to be 3 minutes.
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
It's almost about that time.
Yeah, it's about that time. It's supposed to be a 3 minute, like, we'll ask you a bunch of questions and you answer how fast or how long you want to. But guess what? We don't care anymore because we don't even keep up with it. So really, answer for as long or as fast or as much as we can. So I'll start it off. The people's favorite question: favorite ring gear. Geez, this is not good.
Favorite ring gear
that you've ever seen.
Like the funniest or the one that I like the most or what?
Whatever.
Does it matter?
No, just your favorite.
I think my favorite, like it sticks in my mind the most, is definitely Roddy Piper versus Gold Dust at WrestleMania. The gold. So it's the one I can't remember off the top of my head what WrestleMania it was, but it's the one where Roddy Piper gets run over by a car.
Oh gosh.
And
They
like,
did the OJ
and then
scene.
and they just took the O.J. Simpson like car chase scene, threw it on in the middle, and then had Goldust roll up in that exact same car.
What?
To the ring at WrestleMania. And he gets out of the car. He's like, "Oh no! Did I just drive to WrestleMania on accident?" And then Ryder Piper comes down like covered in blood or whatever from the car accident. And he's chasing Goldust into the ring. And he starts beating him up. And how the match ends, right, is Roddy Piper is just beating down on Goldust, and he rips off his costume, and underneath there's just women's lingerie. And Goldust is wearing women's lingerie into the wrestling ring, and he's like, "Oh no!" And his manager gives him his gold overcoat thing that he wears, right? And he just covers up and he runs away. And that is probably the most like in my head iconic ring gear that I could think of, even though it's not like
It's not. Yeah, but I get you.
It's not like aesthetically pleasing, but yeah.
that is
memorable.
that is a WrestleMania moment for sure. That is Goldust WrestleMania moment for all time.
Lord have mercy on my soul.
I always like Goldust.
Go ahead. Filet-O-Fry.
Mr. Chicken Fry. Let me see. Who's your favorite wrestler growing up?
Growing up, I would honestly, it was Daniel Bryan.
Nice.
I was a huge. So when I really started tuning into wrestling as a kid, it was around not as a kid. I was a teenager at this point, but it was around 2010-ish. So the rise of the Nexus was the first major story arc that I really remember from WWE. I wasn't super engaged before that, right, with Batista and Triple H and all that running around. But I remember the Nexus storyline really hooked me in, and I still vividly remember watching Wade Barrett rip off of the ring, and you just see that it's wood.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh my gosh.
That's the first time I ever knew that there was wood underneath.
Yeah, because as a kid, or even as a teenager, I was like, there's probably mats or something under there. It's like soft, right? They're probably using actual wrestling mats. Those don't hurt too bad if you get slammed on them, especially if they're not trying to hurt you, right? But it was like, oh, that's wood. That is just straight up wood with a little bit of fabric over it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so that was my first time realizing, oh, that's real. Even like that is at the end of the day, that fall off of a ladder onto the mat onto the ring is a real fall. You're landing on wood, and that was what really I think got me back into wrestling, because I took a little break as a young kid into that point in my life, and then seeing Daniel Bryan and watching him and his being a guy about my size, right, not really huge, but somebody who had a proficiency in wrestling, really taking that and running with it, and it being enough to not only be successful because the company wants you to be successful, but because the fans love you. And to be able to be something in this business, despite being in the land of the giants and not being a giant, really making something of yourself, is a story that still inspires me.
It's nice, yeah.
And I really...
Short King stand up.
Short King.
And I really value watching that. He's got a very proficient grappling moveset that I like, and that stuck with me as a kid, as a younger guy too. Right, being that guy who comes from an amateur wrestling background,
right? Yeah,
it really got me stoked to be like, that guy wrestles how I want to wrestle.
Yeah. Do we have enough time?
We got time for one more. And then we gotta wrap it up. Favorite pay-per-view? Like, is there a card that really stands out to you?
Ooh, Mania 25.
Okay, nice.
Mania 25.
Not even mad at that.
Yeah, that was. That was the, if I remember right, if I'm remembering my Manias correctly, it was the Mania with Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker.
The first one they had.
The first one. And I personally,
best WrestleMania match ever.
I liked it more than their rematch the next year.
Really?
Oh, hands down.
I mean,
I think 25 is a better one.
I think
I like the
that
second one more.
the second one was bigger because of the stipulation, right? That
Yeah,
you had to really. You were invested, right? Because you didn't want to see the streak end, and you didn't want to watch Shawn Michaels retire, and so you really didn't care. Like the match almost didn't matter. It was how it ended that anybody that
you were gonna get hurt either way.
You were invested. Yeah, and that's the great thing about wrestling, right? Is you can be more invested in what's not going on in the ring than what actually is, right? Being able to say, I care so much about the story and the story that I'm seeing play out in front of me. And I think that's what gets butts and seats, right? Is the story more than the spectacle. I think if you really want to be something, you have to be able to tell a story as well as be that spectacle of wrestling.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite Mania. It also had the Hardy Brothers in a table match versus each other. That was cool.
That was that one.
They killed each other.
It broke my heart. I feel all the love in the world for Jeff and Matt. I assume they're great people. I know they've gone through a lot of hard stuff in their lives.
Yeah.
But as a kid, huge fan. And that was such an exciting match for me as a kid, just watching them. I wish I could do what Jeff Hardy does. What he's done in the past. That's just not my style.
Yeah.
I'll never be the swanton bomb off of 2 ladders into 16 tables kind of guy.
Yeah.
Light them all on fire just to see what happens. Like, it's not me. But
Jeff Hardy to a T, baby.
I think that happens.
yeah, but I'm good. I think that was definitely my favorite pay-per-view. At least off the top of my head.
Nice. That's a solid
solid one.
pick, man.
Yeah. Good answer.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a good 3 count, man. But unfortunately,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. First of all, but yeah, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah,
we got important things to go do. Called
Absolutely.
wrestling practice.
Yeah, it is wrestling time.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you so much for having me, guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thanks for having us.
You reflect American values. You were such a generous and sweet man. Okay, you deserve to be the Eagle. So with that being said, we will see you guys next time. Look out for some more shows. I believe we're going to have back-to-back shows by the time this comes out.
Yes.
Yes, be on the lookout.
This Saturday, next Saturday, and then we're back on the every other week schedule.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Awesome.
Farewell.
Thank you guys for tuning in.